Hey guys, welcome to VikanGaming. I am Vikrant bringing you new episode of Little Nightmares. This is the Little Nightmares Iceberg. It simply means learning new theories and exploring the hidden secrets. The chart is a combination of images I found on Google and some of my own stuff. We will start from the clear skies to the darkest depths of the ocean and uncover the real truth behind Little Nightmares. And with that said, let's begin. Gnomes are scary creatures scattered throughout the mall. Due to their unpredictable behavior, gnomes rarely survive, and some attempt to befriend strangers. When Runaway Kid discovered the main furnace, after uniting all the gnomes in the hideaway, he stumbled upon the heart of the maw. The gnome shadows emanating from the warm light appear to be of children. These are the same kids who were taken captive by the maw officials. Hunger was a working title change to Little Nightmares due to conflicting search results and confusion with the Hunger Games movie. There was a third chef who appeared in the Hunger teaser, and eventually they dropped him because it was difficult to endure 3 chefs. Hunger is a significant concept in Little Nightmares universe. Six is often hungry and devours anything that stands in her way. Her starvation gave birth to Dark Six. The lady is hungry for power and demands absolute control over the maw. Well, she is a self-proclaimed governess of the island. After collecting all the glitched remains, players can unlock a secret ending that deciphers Six's hunger. The betrayal that left a void in Six created a monster. When Runaway Kid found out the darkest secrets of the maw, he went through gnomification and was later killed by Six. The newspaper found in the game tells us about future events. This TV picture in the wilderness is about the opening of Little Nightmares 2 right after the hallway scene. The couch belonged to viewers, and the big head guy is about the flesh walls, which we will discuss later in the iceberg. After the betrayal, Six ventures into the unknown. Her destiny is to find the maw. But what becomes of Mono? Mono is Thin Man, and during all the time, younger Mono was searching for himself, only to find out he's stuck forever in the time loop. The flesh void monster created the transmission time loop for sinister reasons. It seems only Mono has to go through the cycle, and others are probably not affected. The flesh void created the grim Thin Man to keep residents in check. It keeps them engaged through the means of entertainment. Yokai are supernatural beings in Japanese folklore. The human yokai transformed into something horrific during an extreme emotional breakdown. As per my theory, there are 3 yokai in Little Nightmares. The lady is Kitsune. Stories depict them as intelligent beings possessing magical abilities that increase with age and wisdom. According to yokai folklore, all foxes can shapeshift into men or women. Most Kitsune tales are about wild foxes punishing wicked priests, greedy merchants, and boastful drunkards. Hence, the fox and geisha mask is associated with the lady. The guests are an essential part of the maw cycle. Greedy merchants march their way into the maw and they feast like there is no tomorrow, then they leave one way or another. Teacher is Roku Rokubi. Their wicked form is to scare people. One can only imagine what's in store for the students. 6 is Tengu. The legendary creature is found in the Japanese folk religion and is also considered a Shinto god. The Tengu mask is associated with 6. They like to invade dreams and take control of the host. As the official bio reads, 6 is not a normal child. In the Tale of the Northwind, 6 takes the form of Northwind to attack the village. To secure themselves, residents create a charm that prevents the attack from the Northwind. However, the charms do not work on one such occasion, and Pheromone's intervention saved the day. There are many unique characters in Little Nightmares comics, some of which are part of the game. The comic kids are presented as side characters with a backstory. We will take a look at a couple. The doctor took crutches for experiments. She was a brave child and displayed enormous courage in a challenging situation, but fate was not kind. Her last location was the hospital, so let's find out what happened. The doctor in charge of the hospital did cruel experiments on kids. This picture shows Crutches is undergoing an operation. As we see in the comics, the bloody nose girl is trying to evade the doctor and finds a way to this room. Suppose a player remembers to pick up the cheese and throw it in the hole, a strange noise activates. Some fans also suggested that the janitor somehow knew about Crutches due to his liking for spoons, and obviously the connection here is Crutches defended herself with a spoon. Mono with his couple of friends was trapped inside a house. The house caught on fire and they saw a dark figure approaching them. Mono and his friends got abducted by Thin Man on a stormy night, and that's where his loop began. The girl's journey in VLN is about exploring the nest. Six follows the protagonist of VLN to survive the creepy mansion. Along with the pretender, Yellow Raincoat Girl drowned in the sea and Real Six found a raft to reach the city. But how did Six end up at the nest? The butler shot down the fleeting Boeing 747 and the airplane wreckage can be found in the nest. Six came from another continent. It is suggested that the butler used telekinesis to bring down the plane carrying Six, and after that incident, they restrained him and hid the key in the mountain. Junko Inoshima is the main antagonist of Danganronpa. Danganronpa is a Japanese animation series. It is also a TikTok trend where users mimic the various postures of Junko. Players can find the Junko pose of the granny in the depths. SMA Grodorna is a traditional Swedish dance song. Players can find the mention of the track at the end credits. The participants gather to dance and celebrate in midsummer. It seems the devs' obsession with frogs reflects in their games such as The City of Metronome and Little Nightmares. I found the cute Easter egg very interesting. Have you ever wondered what the bullies or the lady do in free time? Well, the bullies like to play dart and board games. After all, they don't always fight in recess. Some of their favorite games are Ludo and chess. Now there are two ways of doing this puzzle. If a player checkmates the king bully, it will unlock the hidden key. The governess of the mall indulges in sake. After all, she is not always occupied with dark artistry all the time. Her favorite drink is rice wine. Bathhouse is a cut chapter in the original game. The art itself is pretty psychedelic in nature. Perhaps it was intended to be a chapter for the original game. But what's more interesting is that in Little Nightmares 2 art book, you can see a picture of Doctor drowning someone in a bathhouse. There are many cut characters in the game, some of which now serve as a lore. Ferryman is a character responsible for transporting children by boat and disposing of bodies on behalf of the lady. The depths is a waste disposal area for the ferryman and dead bodies were preserved there in the boat. The old man in the art book is continuously staring at a hanging TV. This specific viewer was a part of the lore, so they gave him the old man's name. Perhaps this could be the guy who was turned into a faceless viewer. Actors are part of the TV shows in Little Nightmares. Some of them are giants and of course the superstar of the movie. The granny is part of the taxidermy family in the hunter's house who enjoyed watching TV but didn't make it to the final game. I guess two grannies in one game could be confusing. The art book reveals the barber and his salon. He got a peculiar style for clothing and his look varies in several portraits. The barber once made headlines for threatening a child with scissors. The very same kid became an actor featuring in the infamous song. It is said that the barber scalped people for the making of animated dolls. He supplied the materials to the doctor who was in charge of creating the lifeless dolls. The glimpse of it can be found in the chef chapter. I'd like to thank Havicus and Vortex for providing this wonderful art. I suggest you guys to check out the channel cause they make some amazing content for Little Nightmares. As named in the game files, Skullman is the principal and the black tendrils gouged his eyes out and merged with the flesh void. He was last seen alive during a chemistry class. Post-industrial is a trophy where players have to deliver a valuable package. The package could be related to the guest apartment. Also, there are several piles of letters that are undelivered. I wonder if the notes for the Maw's residence came from the city. Maybe the owner of the Maw was taking inspiration instructions from the higher authority. The dunce cap bully is punished for knowing beyond his limits. His drawings include the Maw, the Thin Man, and the Eye. He acquired knowledge about the entire plot of Little Nightmares, and others got punished for disobeying the teacher. Devs included some great Easter eggs from their previous game like the static hand device and metronome. But what excites me the most are the Studio Ghibli secrets. Here are some of them. The lady once had children and made dolls in their memory. Death magic is a necromantic ritual performed by the lady, and it's speculated that she killed her children in fire because they were deformed. According to a theory, the lady created children using dark magic and got rid of them due to deformity. The lady conceived a perfect child though, and the kid grew up in the maw, only to be eaten by leeches. Governess preserved her ashes in this memorial, and the portrait is a testimony to their wonderful relationship. The most elusive mask in Little Nightmares is the rarest one. Players would require a Switch console, Pac-Man amiibo, and the game to unlock this mask. It is said that the mystery man in this TV show is the craftsman. There are many TV shows to enjoy for viewers such as news, stand-up comedy, music, and more. The motive behind streaming shows is to hypnotize people and strike them in their vulnerability. The flesh void absorbs viewers into TV, and only thing that remains now are the flesh walls. More on that later. Twin Chefs promotes a propaganda food company based in the city. The product is made from mutilated carcasses and sold in supermarkets. Example, the giant rat found in the wilderness or the hidden cage room in the town. This setup is for the people who are its prime consumers. The disturbing motive behind this organization is to prepare them for the inevitable. This is why the bloated guests are sacrificed on board the maw, and the viewers are compelled to binge watch. Walking leeches are rare in the maw. In one scene, Six is describing the pale city to her friends, and out of nowhere, attracted by the music from a toy, a walking leech gulps down a kid in front of everyone. Just like other children, Six was captured by the Nest officials. When she found a way to cross the ocean, Six again managed to get caught and became a prisoner. But Six is destined to become great, and she cannot be stopped until her destiny is fulfilled. It was revealed in the secret ending of Little Nightmares 2 that Six would travel to the maw, and the betrayal gave rise to the hunger. Six ultimately defeats the lady, perhaps become the new owner of the maw, or is she willing to leave everything behind and start a new life as we hear a ship approaching in the distance? The camera pans towards the maw poster when dark is revealed during the secret ending, suggesting Six's next destination. The maw poster is an advertisement campaign to lure its citizen to the floating resort. Players can find the sign in specific locations, and we all know what happens to guests who are baited to visit the maw. Dark Six was the glitching remains of Six when she got abducted by the Thin Man. Dark first appeared in the Hunger Trips, and it grows after every kill, making Six the true master of Little Nightmares. During the final scene in Little Nightmares, Six devours the guests by absorbing their souls. The ending files are named Dark Six, potentially hinting towards Six and Dark has merged into one being. Although Six is just a 9-year-old kid, but she is above everyone. LittleNightmares.com was the old website for the game, and it was a go-to website for every fan out there, as I remember reading its lore for hours and finding every news and article. The original website does not work anymore and redirects users to Bandai Namco. In the chess puzzle room, players can discover the map of Little Nightmares. The entire map of the world includes places such as the Nest, Forest, the Pale City Rivers, and the Maw. In the promotional artwork of Little Nightmares, the globe is covered with eyes all over it, suggesting the TV enemy has taken control over all continents. The globe can actually be found in the residence, suggesting the lady had information about the outside world. The alternate dinner scene takes place in the alpha build of Wilderness called the Wasteland. The alternate dinner scene explains what happened to the taxidermy family. The hunter did horrible things while the family had dinner and taxidermied them to presume nothing had happened. He kept them as trophies on display. This is where things get murky, so let us start with the beginning. Follow this blood trail to find out about gruesome crimes. room is filled with phantom kids' apparition. Devoid of life, they are doomed to wander. The secret room is shown in the concept art book, the ghostly apparition of the phantom kids when the notorious Thin Man captured them. These kids are prepared to merge with the ancient ones. Hypno is the unreleased OST for the TVI boss. The TVI boss appears in the outer limits of the Pale City and it was removed due to gameplay reasons. Gnomes singing 6's main theme. It comes across as the gnomes were forced to perform this song and you can almost feel the emotions in their voice. It is one of the rarest in the game's unreleased tracks. The apartment is a cut chapter from the game. It's basically a PT version of Little Nightmares, including Thin Man reveal and cutscenes. Flesh walls are made of humans and animals. As I said earlier, living beings are absorbed into the TV, becoming flesh walls. The art book reveals a family of deformed giants and their faces end up being the flesh wall that stands cancelled. The abandoned tech demo in 2012 became Little Nightmares for PS4. Little Nightmares was first shown in 2012 with a tech demo called Dollhouse. It had all the ingredients of Little Nightmares and it did manage to scare players. Little Nightmares 2 takes place after World War II. The TV sets used in the game were in operation in the year 1940s and likewise for the guillotine found in the lair. The Maw was born on April 28, 1917. The governess of the Maw could be 120 years old, assuming she founded the Maw at age 20. The Maw arrives every year, always at the same time, but never in the same place. So the lady herself witnessed the war and described the outside world as chaotic. She created the Maw and cast a hypnotic spell to keep it running. Another clue lies in the shoe monster room. This room is reminiscent of the concentration camps during the war, and the Pale City was destroyed in aerial attack. Lastly, a nuclear bomb was detonated near the Maw, resulting in a catastrophic nuclear fallout. There is a snowstorm art of Mono dragging 6 towards the Black Tower. The smoke could have covered the sun for months and the impact could have initiated a nuclear winter. The Maw is believed to be located near the Japanese coast. It is evident after going through the yellowish atmosphere covered with thick fog outside the Maw. The nuke also invited a cosmic entity called the Flesh Void Monster. The Flesh Void Monster came from outer space and it's a cosmic entity named Yog-Sothoth. The outer god possesses powers such as control over space and time, omnipresence, reality warping, and more. Yog-Sothoth controls citizens and absorbs their flesh to grow more and wreak havoc in the world with its abilities. It also created the Thin Man for all his dirty work, like abducting children from the city. Yog-Sothoth picked Mono among other children because he was the chosen and Mono means one. Beyond the void remains the Great Old Ones or the Ancient Ones. Some of them are Azathoth and Cthulhu. In Little Nightmares, each god represents a symbol and for the transmission it's triangle, and others could be related to elder gods. The alternate ending is about the origins of the transmission. I will start from the very beginning. Six hides in the guest house to lay low after the events of Very Little Nightmares. The owner of this house enjoys warm food and sitcoms. When Six finally decides to leave the house, she was captured by the hunter. Meanwhile, Mono was camping in the forest with his friends. They hunt in search of food but only Mono survived and rest fell victim to the traps laid by the hunter. One of them is buried here. After rescuing Six, they prepare to return home. On board the train, Mono and Six discover their friendship. As they are trying to settle down, a dark figure approaches and both are dispersed in the panic. Mono takes shelter in an abandoned house and there are other kids with him who are equally petrified. Thin Man tracks down Mono and Six. Mono was captured outside Pale City on a stormy night and Six was captured in the guest apartment. The Flesh Void chapter starts from the actor's residence. The actors appear to be giant deformed beings. Maybe this was a film set originally planned for the game. On his way to meet Monster 6, Mono is chased by headless people. After going through all this, Mono lands in the Flesh Void. The gatekeeper of the Flesh Void is a giant baby, and deformed kids are walking towards the monstrous head. The top portion of the skull is open and emits flesh. The flesh then spreads through the entire city but mainly TV sets, and the kids are seen walking straight into the head as Mono passes by. That sums up my Little Nightmares Iceberg, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and huge shout out to our channel members. Your support is greatly appreciated. And those who are new here, subscribe for free. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, this is VikanGaming signing off.